us all back together again, another evening to discuss these wonderful truths that you have given us.
Yes.
You created the world, the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and tonight, Lord, we talk about, we discuss and we learn about the environment that you have created. So teach us, we pray, from your word and from the lips of your servant and our friend, Dr. Ken. Thank you for this opportunity again. May your name be glorified always. We give you praise and honor in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Have a seat. Folks, thank you very much for all of you coming out. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Ken Kandakle, Dr. Kandakle, and his wife, who is also a doctor, both in practice up in Silver Spring. So, look, if you need a good doctor, go and see.
Amen.
Besides his extended family, to a lot of us, including, of course, your pastor here. So they are related by marriage. But he's a good doctor. I've known Ken since he was born, actually. And we are very proud of him and for his success and for his ministry. They have a great ministry and great practice up in Silver Spring. So he gave the lecture up in Laurel at the community center on this subject, and I thought it would be nice for us to have him here to listen to him rather than me doing all the lectures. So this Saturday evening we're going to have another lecturer come and do one of the lectures for us as well. So without much ado, Dr. Ken, be sure to pick up your tips for success this evening before you leave, and they'll be at the back. Thank you and appreciate it.
Amen.
Amen.
Good evening, church.
Good evening.
It's very nice to be here this evening. I gave this talk on creation health seminar topic as far as environment at Bellsville, and it actually went really well. But we didn't have a big turnout like this over there. We had a handful of people out there, but it was very nice. I'm sure as far as some of you have come out and heard some of the first topics about creation health. And I'm not sure if you're going in order or not. We have to go out in order.
No, we
today.
order.
But pretty much all the topics, as far as how they're set up, you can talk about them in any order that they come out. Now, what I'll do, I'll go over the PowerPoint presentation first, and then there's a short video afterwards that we'll go over. It kind of recaps everything that we'll talk about during the PowerPoint presentation. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So basically, the environment is where you are at any given time. At this point in time, this is our environment. You can just keep on going as you go along. It's what we hear, see, smell, taste, touch. It's all our senses. You can go to the next one. As we change environments, there are different things that will impact us. As a meaning, as far as our sight, our hearing, our smell, our touch, and as far as our taste. And the first one we would go into is our sight. Sight is a very important part of our environment. If we see a pleasant sight as far as like a sunrise, it puts us in a good mood. It's very important for our general well-being to be surrounded by a lot of sights that are more positive. It's very important to see smiles of our family, of our friends. It always puts us in a good mood as far as when you see somebody that's smiling. So this is basically helping us from the inside as far as to keep our general well-being, as far as our general health. Now, this may be a typical sight that you might see, not as far as around the church or at home, but I mean, sometimes you might see this clutter that may fill out maybe our younger generation's homes, as far as or their rooms, as far as clutter that's just everywhere. certain shelves that are put out of order. There's a lot of things that are in disarray, and it kind of puts you into a negative mood. Things that, you can go to the next one, things that will cause us to basically be put on edge, and results of a stressful living space, as we see here, elevated blood pressure, headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, depression, anxiety, all negative things that can impact our health and cause us to have poor health. So it's very important as far as for our general health to have a cleanly environment that is basically going to promote our health as far as peace, health, and what we need to do is also decrease waste, and this will also help us to increase energy as well too. By beholding, we become changed. Now, as far as part of this, that's part of the video, they'll go over this also, but what we're doing is basically promoting health as far as through our environment. As far as what we're seeing is that if we, again, surround ourselves with positive things, it will promote our general health. Now, as far as negative impacts of sight, TV is a big one, in video games associated with that. In one of the studies that is alluded to here, teens who played violent video games showed an increased activity in areas of the brain linked to emotional arousal and decreased responses in regions that govern self-control. So basically a negative impact on our health. We all see the negative impacts in the news right now. So many different things as far as in our environment that are negatively impacting us, as far as in politics, as far as our general environment here, just as far as yesterday with the weather. A lot of things can affect our general health, increasing anxiety and sad mood, and then also filling our minds with basically as far as with stress. Now, with the negatives, there's always a positive. There are a lot of things on TV that are positive. One thing in particular that I enjoy is cooking shows. They're relaxing, they're informative, and they're very peaceful. And they can be entertaining as well too, and basically promote the general health as far as keeping us relaxed. Now, as far as going back as far as with the negative impacts, as far as our health, it influences us by this study that was showing that 96% of American homes have at least one television. And what they're showing is most of this is negative as far as when we watch TV, a lot of it is negative. So we want to basically concentrate more on the positive. Another study that they showed was that children that watch a lot of TV, their metabolism actually is decreased as far as with that, and basically promoting poor health. Now, this is one of the studies done through this creation seminar that was showing some of the positive and negative effects of watching peaceful situation. Now these are two films, I don't know if you can see it, but one says Triumph film, the other one says Mother Teresa film. The Mother Teresa film is the one in yellow. The Triumph film is basically about Nazi Germany, so it's more of a stressful movie. The Mother Teresa film, more calming and peaceful. And they were doing studies as far as on salivary glands with respect to protein levels, as far as protein levels that would affect and promote or affect the body's defense against diseases. And they were showing that when people were watching these positive films, especially this film, that these levels of saliva were actually increased in people that were watching the positive films, and actually the levels were actually higher 1 hour later after watching this. So what this is showing us that it actually helps as far as promote general health and promote our body's defenses against illnesses by watching positive things on TV or movies. Now, colors can also affect us. They can be relaxing and decrease our anxiety and our stress. Different colors have been shown to actually promote this. This is actually Oceanside, which shows nice peaceful blue colors, which can be very relaxing. And in contrast also, as far as nature, different colors can promote as far as the relaxing mood, promote it. The next sentence was hearing, with the sounds of health and healing, kind of going along the sign as far as with the sight, words of love, music, singing, sounds of nature, as far as with the next slide, and silence can actually help promote your general health. Now, on the next slide, it's again another study showing more from a medical aspect as far as neuroendocrine hormones that can be increased and showing the negative impacts of these hormones going on. Now, in particular, these two hormones, when they go up, can increase your blood pressure, and everybody knows as far as with that, that's not a good thing. And one of the impacts of this study is showing that even a year and a half later, that the negative sounds or loud sounds increase these levels of hormones and were detrimental to people's health as far as specifically increasing blood pressure. Now, smells are also part of our senses that can negatively impact us or positively impact us. We want to focus more on the positive. Now, as far as smells, fresh, clean air is a very positive thing. And plants can clean the air we breathe by feeding on carbon dioxide and giving us pure oxygen in exchange. And in this study, they were showing that 1 6-inch plant every 100 square feet of interior was recommended to remove toxins from the air and help us promote general health as far as taking carbon dioxide out of our environment and increasing oxygen. This kind of goes along as far as the same lines. Now, there was a study actually done through the EPA, which showed that Americans spend about 90% of their time indoors. And as far as our work environment, being inside, a lot of these buildings that we work in do not have proper ventilation, and we're constantly rebreathing in it. A lot of the toxins and dust and pollutants on a continual basis. Go to the next slide. The air inside most homes has an average of 2 to 5 times more polluted air than the air outside of its walls. So it's very important to be outside, especially in a day like this. It was nice and sunny outside, not too hot, not too cold, and it's very important to get out of there, out of the inside environment and into the outside, especially if you're inside 90% of the day. Now, as far as the toxins that we find inside, it depends on as far as where you're working. I mean, some environments are more toxic than others, but these are some of the common things that you might find in your house as far as that may be detrimental to your health that you're coming in contact with every day. And if you do have these in your home and you're showing prolonged exposure to this, it will negatively impact you as you come in contact with them on a continual basis. Now, as far as smells are concern. And these are some plants and flowers that get listed. According to NASA, the following 10 plants are top hits for removing formaldehyde, benzene, and carbon monoxide from the air. And it may be something that you all might have in your homes as far as right now, and this is actually promoting your good health. Now, as far as choosing healthier alternatives, one is just to avoid toxic chemicals just in general. Protecting our environment, our world, as far as basically not using some of the harmful environmental hazards that are out there. And look for products that list all their ingredients and know as far as which ones are maybe detrimental to your health and detrimental to the environment. Stay clear of those. Now, these are some websites that they have on there as far as where you can go, but I mean, you can go just on a Google search and find out as far as which products you may have at home may be potentially toxic now or toxic down the line. So one thing that you want to do is actually that kind of goes along with the other slide, but one thing you want to do is surround yourself by different things that are more positive. Now, on the next slide, the powers of smell. As you can see here, this is more towards from a medical standpoint and also from a general well-being. Affects our emotional center and can influence our brainwave patterns, muscle tension and stress, blood pressure again, skin temperature, and heart rate as well too. All of these things either can put you on edge or calm you down as well too. Now, I found this pretty interesting as far as different herbs and smells that can be positive and uplifting. Rosemary actually increases alertness and enhances memory. So that would be something very important as far as to keep around, for a more positive memory. Peppermint and eucalyptus increase cognitive performance and actually are relaxing. And vanilla is more of a sense as far as keeping the mood relaxing as well too. It's a pleasant odor or smell, and will keep you calm and relaxed as well too. Now, touch is the next one, the last sense that we will discuss, and this is probably the biggest one. Our skin is the largest organ that we have, and so that we, as far as touch, it's the biggest one that will affect our environment. For touch, we must have it to develop and grow as far as babies. When we're nurturing babies as they're growing up, that's one of the biggest things that they thrive on. Now, this, I don't know about this study, but it says loving husbands live longer with fewer heart problems. It's a good thing to do. Holding hands of your spouse increases the feeling of unpleasantness. Definitely is a very positive, very, very positive influence. Now, hugs for growth. Now, this is also another small study that they did. 4 hugs a day are essential for our survival. So the more the better. 8 hugs per day for maintenance, 12 hugs for growth. Basically everything positive. So from a taste standpoint, taste, textures, and colors, eating was meant to energize us, give us vital health, and also for our daily life. One big part of it is that I am constantly reminding my patients we want to eat to live, not live to eat. can increase psychological well-being, restorative experiences, decreasing stress, blood pressure, pulse, fatigue, brain activity with more uplifting moods and feelings, and also decreases frustration and again stress as well too. Being in an environment as far as where it's less stressful. You go to the next slide. Nature's benefits for indoor work environment, plants and sunshine, which lower anxiety levels, increase attention to detail, increase concentration. These are all positive things. Improved job satisfaction and improved general well-being. Now, part of this is also showing that a moderate amount of sunlight penetration significantly helps office workers have a feeling of relaxation. Results of previous studies suggest that emotional states, such as those characterized by relaxation, promote and facilitate activities requiring increased concentration. Actually, that one was actually important as far as where sunlight is beneficial. Dramatic increase in student performances were seen when students were exposed to sunlight, and they did better as far as in a more bright light environment. So these are some of the studies that they showed as far as on children that it decreases stress, improves test scores, reduces discipline problems, and then increases enthusiasm and promotes learning. Now, nature's healing effect as far as this one is showing actually hospital patients, but hospital patients could see trees from their windows, had a shorter stay as far as in the hospital, fewer negative comments in the chart, basically their interaction with the staffing, fewer need for pain medicines, and then decrease in stress. And you might see this as far as in some of the places that you visit as far as nursing homes or hospitals, that they try to open up, especially some of the newer hospitals, that they try to open things up where the windows are open and everything is more brighter than just a room that does not have any windows or there is no sunlight. Now, nature's effect in the urban areas, this was also another study that they did as far as where people that were living in apartment buildings had less exposure to sunlight and were actually indoors a lot. And they was trying to sort of incorporate some positive things as far as into their community, into their buildings. And so residents of buildings with more vegetation, bringing in plants, tended to know the patients better, socialize, get out, and have a stronger sense of communities and community service. They felt safer, there were fewer reported crimes, and less aggression and violence, and overall stress. And of course, as far as going along with that, they were able to cope better as far as certain situations, feel more hope for the future, again, manage problems more effectively, have greater satisfaction for neighborhood, and all in all, live longer than that population. So, enjoying the blessings of the natural world. This is a quote by Henry Fielding. All nature wears one universal grin. Putting these all together, kind of going up as far as back to the environment as far as how our weather and all this today. Sunshine is a powerful promoter of health. Increases serotonin, impacts melatonin as far as the way we are more alert and the way we a little bit skewed because we don't want to be outside in the sunlight too long, because then you run the risk as far as with cancer.
Yeah.
But at least 10 to 15 minutes a day getting outside into the sunlight would be beneficial. And then we can supplement it also as far as with a daily dose as far as with vitamin D. Now, also positive impacts on health is lowering blood pressure, decreasing some of the incidences as far as these diseases such as multiple sclerosis, diabetes, and rheumatoid arthritis. And different studies have been done on this, but all in all, promoting general good health. And recent studies have shown that it can be beneficial as far as decreasing the risk of some cancers. And maybe down the line, that we might see that there may be more positive impact as far as vitamin D, especially as far as reducing cancer such as breast cancer and esophageal cancer as well. Now, sunshine is also a powerful promoter of health as far as basically keeping our immune system well so that we can fight off some of those things as far as that can potentially cause cancer. Now coming back as far as next one, benefits of fresh air as far as being outside, improves well-being, decreases anxiety and stress, lowering body temperature, decreasing stomach ulcers as far as that may be related to stress, improving brain and lung functions, improving learning, lowering resting heart rate, and lowering blood pressure, and decreasing survival of bacteria and viruses that may be detrimental to our health. Now, as far as blessings of water, this is not so much as far as drinking, but also as far as what water can promote for us. Hydrotherapy, which can stimulate the immune system, decrease cortisol levels, again, decreasing blood pressure, and promoting circulation and healing. And hot baths, which can be relaxing, and promoting a relaxed environment, decreasing stress, and could improve sleep as well too. Natural supplementation that can promote good health. Charcoal, aloe vera, garlic, tree oils. Basically, as far as helping remove toxins from our bodies and keeping us healthy as far as promoting good health. Another benefit to our environment as far as promoting health, keeping animals, which more of a sort of companionship type thing. Go to the next slide. Unconditional love, encourage activity, increased health, and decreasing blood pressure as well too. And this is basically some websites as far as where you could actually go to show as far as some of the things that you can do as far as giving back, as far as recycling, promoting a good, clean environment. One of the big things that we see in our environment today is decreasing the clutter, and a lot of the counties nowadays are almost all of the counties are recycling. Giving back to the community as far as recycling is a big thing that we can help as far as promoting our general health. This helps as far as saving our resources, decreasing our exposure to toxins and waste, and also reducing costs as well too, as far as our general health. Reusing things that would be beneficial to us, preserving things as far as for recycling, and not exposing ourselves again to toxic, potentially toxic things that could be in our environment. I gave this talk in Laurel, and I used to have an office in Laurel. One particular patient came in mind testing because he came in with nosebleeds that were on his plane. We traced it back to his work environment where he was actually getting exposed to high levels of mercury. So once he got out of that environment, his mercury levels went down and he was actually better. But one of the downsides of that is his family members were getting sick also. Actually, they were seen elsewhere, but two of his family members actually came up with unexplained seizures. And the only thing we could sort of deduct from that was he was the common denominator, and it was coming from them. So it's very important as far as to keep our environment healthy and clean, is to better help us as part of in our health and well-being. Recycling at home, at work, and as far as these are all things that are positive for us. And one thing that they mentioned, one man's junk is another man's treasure, is very important as far as keeping the environment clean and keeping our health. Environment can restore and energize or deplete you, impact you emotionally, physically, and mentally as well too. What we need to do is take a moment to visualize an environment that you find restful, peaceful, and that nurtures your soul. Basically taking time to enhance your environment. Go to the next one. So enhancing your environment, get rid of toxins that the sunshine in. You go to the next slide. Next one. So get rid of the toxins and keep the sunshine coming in. Get out as far as outside and get at least 10 to 20 minutes of fresh air, sunlight, and vitamin D. Choose products that are eco-friendly, that are less detrimental to your environment and decrease your exposure to harmful toxins. And keeping the relative humidity at 40 to 60%. Now this is basically keeping your body temperature low. Enhancing your environment by adding plants and flowers and removing unnecessary clutter. And enhancing your environment by keeping things calm, keeping objects of warmth around, restful pictures, family pictures, candles, and aromatherapy also help promote the general health. Adding color to your environment. Textures are also important as far as touching in, softer, and that will help promote more of a calm feeling. As far as in your environment, keeping a pet if you can to enjoy company, as far as keeping you in a positive and healthful mood, and enhancing your environment by making your home or a space of oasis. Thinking through things you can do right now to enhance your environment, make it an oasis for your busy, hurried life, and start doing them. So you want to think of positive things and start to do them right now. A big part of this is also recycling again, collecting recyclable materials, and decreasing waste and purchasing products that are made from recycled materials. And this will help as far as promote your general health. Go to the next one. The next one. Go to the next one. Sorry. So, as far as in conclusion, choose to create an environment that helps you achieve optimal health by all these senses that we talked about. Basically promoting general health by keeping things positive around you and focusing on positive things in your life. There's a video as far as a 10-minute video after this. It kind of goes over everything together, but it kind of puts everything in perspective as far as all the senses. I guess we could put that in there.
textures, sounds, and tastes. Those thick grass, exotic plants, towering trees, and flowering blossoms. There were rivers and streams, color-splashed orchards, cold springs, and luscious fruits. It was a tailor-made environment for nurturing the heart, an oasis of renewal. Think about a world without asphalt, steel, or concrete. Awe-inspiring beauty from the stars to the sea. It was perfect. And as it turns out, it was an environment our souls still long for. Even now, the wondrous beauty still awes us. And in these simple moments, when we allow ourselves to appreciate Earth's magnificent wonders, there's a certain part within us that feels it has finally found a home. Let's join Dr. Winnie King as she shares some insights about the environments where we work and live, and how we can recreate a soothing oasis that renews our soul.
When you close your eyes and drift away to your private sanctuary of peace, calm, and quiet, what do you see? Well, if you're like me and the rest of us who long for a little heaven on earth, I'll bet you're not calling up visions of clutter and clatter, stale air, and awful smells. Why? Well, it seems obvious. Inherently, we know the difference between an environment that lifts our spirits and one that pulls us deeper into darker places. Research confirms that our environment either affects us positively or negatively. It affects our feelings, thoughts, mood, and actions. Here's an example that demonstrates the simple impact of a little bit of nature. A study of urban residents, city dwellers who live in apartment buildings. Those whose buildings were landscaped have stronger feelings of community. They know their neighbors better, socialize more, and feel more secure. Just having a bit of nature outside your home proved to be a coping mechanism for mental fatigue. Trees and greenery ease the grinding stresses of inner city living. A natural environment created stronger feelings of hope for the future and helped residents manage their problems more effectively. They were more satisfied with life overall. Nature has a healing effect on us too. Hospitals have learned that patients who have a view of nature from their windows heal better, faster, and have less pain. Seeing trees through their window rather than buildings and brick walls made a huge difference. Think how you feel after a walk through a beautiful garden or a tree-lined path. Windows are beneficial for learning as well. In a study involving undergraduates, a windowed classroom increased motivation and attention. An abundance of daylight in the classroom dramatically increased test scores. In an American Institute for Research study, 6th graders in California who participated in an outdoor class showed improved science test scores. A nature-based environment reduces discipline and other classroom management problems, and it increases enthusiasm for learning. Nature is a positive aid for students who struggle to pay attention. The greener a child's play area, the less severe are his or her attention deficit symptoms. Nature's positive impact can also be seen in the workplace. The anxiety level of employees who work in a building with plants was lower than employees working in an environment without plants. They showed increased concentration and improved attention to details. If you're feeling pressure at work, take a 10-minute walk among trees or beautiful landscaping. You'll return more alert and refreshed. Here's a study with results that might not surprise you. Participants who watched a video of a drive down a scenic parkway exhibited lower levels of frustration than those who watched a drive through crowded and noisy city streets. Think about that as you wonder why you're feeling all tense as you roll into your parking space. All this research shows us that simply viewing a garden or other forms of nature reduces blood pressure and lowers the pulse. Be good to yourself and enjoy the healing power of nature. Now, in addition to making your world more green, two more key things you should be enjoying are sunshine and fresh air. Sunshine is essential to our well-being. It promotes health, positive thinking, and increases serotonin, an important brain chemical. Reduced levels of serotonin are connected to ADHD, irritability, depression, aggression, anxiety, lack of concentration, chronic pain, restlessness, obsessive-compulsive disorder, chronic fatigue syndrome, to name only a few of many. Sunlight also has a positive and significant impact on an employee's job satisfaction and general well-being. It makes them feel more relaxed, which improves their performance on demanding activities that require intense concentration. Sunlight is our biggest source of vitamin D, which is required for strong bones. In fact, sunlight is so powerful that it's able to convert cholesterol into vitamin D. It also enhances our immune system against invading germs. And as surprising as this might sound, sunshine in moderate amounts actually helps prevent cancer. This linkage appears to be due to vitamin D. Sunlight also affects melatonin, which promotes sound sleep. So take a few minutes in the sun each day and sleep better at night. And get this, sunlight has been shown to kill germs. So open the curtains and pull up the blinds and create a healthier environment. So for a powerful 1-2 punch, make sure to include sunshine and fresh air in your day. But not all air is equal. Fresh air is chemically different than the recirculated air that most of us breathe each day. Fresh air is charged with negative ions. Now that's a good thing. It's this kind of air that offers us enormous benefits: an improved sense of well-being, improved function of our lungs' protective cilia, decreased anxiety because of its tranquilizing and relaxing effect, lower body temperature, lower resting heart rate, improved learning, decreased severity of stomach ulcers, and decreased survival of airborne bacteria and viruses. But chances are pretty good that the air you're breathing in your home and office isn't all that fresh and contains more than you bargained for. 3 common contaminants are formaldehyde, benzene, and carbon monoxide. But here's some good news. NASA, when they're not busy launching things into space, is doing some research which finds that there are plants which actually remove toxic chemicals from the air. Chinese evergreen, English ivy, Gerber daisies, and peace lilies, to name a few. For these plants to do their job most effectively, keep a 6-inch plant for each 100 square feet of living space. Who'd have thought that air pollution inside our homes could be more of a concern than outdoors? According to the EPA, the air inside our homes is often 2 to 5 times more polluted than out there. In extreme cases, it can be 100 times more contaminated, making indoor air pollution one of the top 5 environmental risks to public health. Some of the culprits are household cleaners and pesticides, certain home furnishings like carpets, foams, and composite wood products made from fume-emitting synthetic fibers. Poorly ventilated combustion appliances like gas ranges and furnaces can be problematic as well. Don't overlook fumes coming from garbage cans and indoor composting containers. These factors, combined with energy-efficient construction, which limits air exchanges between the indoors and the outdoors, rapidly increase indoor pollutants. So look around and be aware of potential risks. The good news is we can control our environment and make it a healthier place. Another component regarding the air we breathe is fragrances. Certain scents affect our moods and behaviors. Businesses often use special fragrances that encourage emotions in customers, patients, or guests. The new car smell that so many people like is actually an artificial odor that's used to increase the buyer's satisfaction. Other fragrances, such as familiar Christmas scents used in stores, cause people to connect with an emotion and therefore purchase more products. Casinos have learned that there are certain odors which influence people to gamble their money away. London's Heathrow Airport has experimented with the pine needle fragrances, to decrease passenger stress levels. Bad odors have been known to make people more aggressive. Olympic weightlifters have used smelling salts before competition to boost their strength levels. And on the other hand, vanilla-like odors have been shown to reduce anxiety by 63% in patients having a closed MRI scan, which can make people feel claustrophobic. These examples illustrate the powerful impact that smell has upon our mood and attitude. What we smell has the power to make us happy, aggressive, relaxed, anxious, or focused. Smell receptors in our nose connect directly to the limbic area of the brain, our emotional center. The limbic area connects to special regions in the brain that influence our heart rate, brainwave patterns, blood pressure, muscle tension, and skin temperature. Smell also affects the memory area of our brain. Essential oils commonly used in aromatherapy can positively impact us. For example, rosemary increases alertness in some people. Peppermint and eucalyptus increase cognitive performance. So when it comes to our environment, we want clean air and fragrances that soothe and relax us. Wouldn't you agree that we spend the majority of our time in a combination of our home and work? It only makes sense that these two environments have the most impact on our mood and well-being. And one of the most significant things that affects us in either of these environments is clutter. How do you feel when these spaces are cluttered or unorganized? Now, there's no question that clutter affects us negatively. Think of it as visual pollution. We are less relaxed in an unkept environment. Why bombard our eyes with clutter when there are so many more pleasant things to see? Photos of family, or spring cherry blossoms, a painting by your favorite artist, or your dog jumping through a hoop. The best news is that we can choose what we see in our homes. We can surround ourselves with calming, inspiring, and pleasant things. When we allow ourselves to be surrounded by clutter and disorganization, our energy is drained and our stress increases. These psychological and emotional issues contribute to depression and bad behavior, and it holds us back. And here's a sobering fact. Studies show that people with cluttered desks and offices are less likely to get promoted. Now that's hitting you in your pocketbook. Now listen. No, really, listen. The sounds you hear also impact your health. In the beginning, we were surrounded by the tranquil sounds of nature. Noise pollution didn't exist. Allow me to paint a picture with sound here. Imagine a day spent in nature, a luxurious day of beautiful, enlivening sounds. The playful rustle of wind dancing through trees. The soothing sounds of birds singing in the distance. Waves gently splashing against the shore. A rocky brook babbling softly in the sun. Rain pattering on the leaves. Thunder rumbling across the sky. Nature is a symphony, and God is its conductor. I'm guessing your blood pressure just now dropped a few points. Filling our environments with these sounds and images creates a more enjoyable place to live. Noise is an unwanted stressor that compromises our health. Its negative effects include hearing loss, increased blood pressure, decreased concentration, and just plain puts us in a bad mood. Prolonged, repetitive exposure to loud noises has also been found to increase heart disease. You can improve your life instantly by filling your environment with the sounds of nature or soothing music. While I've talked about a bunch of things to think about as you explore ways to enhance